Hello, everyone. Please help me welcome January's featured author for the Cozy Mystery Book Club, Addison Moore.
Hi, hello. So
Your
nice to be
bio.
here. I'm so happy to be here.
Thanks, Addison. I'm going to read your bio here. It
Yeah.
says, Addison Moore is a New York Times, USA Today, and Wall Street Journal best-selling author who writes mystery, psychological thrillers, and romance. Her work has been featured in Cosmopolitan magazine. Previously, she worked as a therapist
That's
on
cute.
a locked psychiatric unit for nearly a decade. She resides on the West Coast with her husband, four wonderful children, and two cats. Hello. Where she eats too much chocolate and stays up way too late. When she's not writing, she's reading. Her Celestra series was optioned for film by 20th Century Fox. She's represented by Rochelle Gardner of Books and Such Literary Agency. And if you're in the club, you've already downloaded her free book of the month, Murder at Mortimer Manor. But before we talk about the book, let's learn a little bit more about Addison. And the first thing we want to know, Addison, is about your partner. There's another name on the cover, Bellamy
Yes, yes.
Bloom. So let us know about that a little bit.
Bellamy is my daughter. She's actually in grad school right now. And a few years ago, we thought it would be a fun mother-daughter endeavor if we kind of wrote together. So we penned a bunch of cozy mysteries. I think the primary cozy mysteries we wrote were the Country Cottage Mystery series about talking pets, which we both love cats and dogs. So that was right up our alley. And then we did the Meow for Murder series as well. And that's the one that we're talking about today. So,
Wonderful. Okay, so mother-daughter team here.
yes.
Um, if you wouldn't mind telling us a little about your author journey, when or how did you begin? What brought you to this genre particular?
Oh gosh. Okay, I have been obsessed with reading since I learned to read, and I think my first books were like Nancy Drew. Actually, it was Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew. I had my sister read them to me, and she finally just one day said, "You need to learn to read." And so we would go to the library, and I was thrilled that I could check out 40 books at a time or whatever. I was checking out dozens and dozens, and I would come home and pour over them. I think in the fifth grade, I thought, I want to do this. And so reading has just been a lifelong obsession. And
Mm.
as I grew older and I finished college, I thought I'm going to give it a try. And so I've been writing every night since the kids were little. I have four kids,
Ah,
and they're all grown and older than me now. But I would sit and I would write from like after dinner until I put them to bed, and then sometimes in the morning. But that didn't last long because I like to sleep
mm.
in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been writing for a long time. And that's just basically been my journey. And I love all kinds of genres. I really like rom-coms. I really like cozy mysteries. I really like mysteries, and cozy mysteries, like the perfect blend of the two. So it seemed like the right.
Mm, absolutely. When were you first published? When did that first begin?
Oh, the funny thing is I got an agent in 2011. And then a month later, I said, you know what? I'm going to self-publish something. And then I never looked back. So I had a lot of fun
Yeah.
doing it. And actually, I do have some work that is traditionally published as well, but mostly I do it myself, and it's just a lot of fun. That was, I think, in 2011. I think right when everything kind of like when you were able to do it if you wanted to. So
Right. The technology just finally showed up, and
yes,
now we can do the fun things.
yes, yes. So I'm published both ways, traditionally and through KDP. So
And indeed, awesome. Do
yes.
you want to speak a little bit to your awards or accolades that marked your career path?
I
Um,
was
Something
fortunate.
about a film I think I just read.
That was an option, and that was awesome. Yeah, my Celestia series, the one that I went ahead and I published, was option for film by 20th Century Fox, and that was a fun ride. And I also had hit a couple of lists with some of my rom-coms. I New York Times, USA Today, and Wall Street Journal. That was really awesome. And I actually had a feature in Cosmopolitan, which was super nice too.
Yeah,
And that was all in 2013. So that was a really fun year. And ever since, and I'm still plugging away. So it's just something that, fun feather in the hat.
excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. Um, let's see. So, in general, if I look over your entire selection of books, you tend to have protagonists who either read minds, some can see the dead. How did you decide that is what you wanted to write?
When I wanted to write cozy mysteries, I saw a lot of them had a little bit of a paranormal element. I thought that would
Hmm.
be fun to try. So I
Hmm.
thought just something a little, nothing too scary because I'm a big scaredy cat. So I just thought something where they had this extra ability, and I thought, well, mind reading would be okay. That's kind of light. And then she could read the animals' minds, and I would love to hear what they have to say. And they always have better things to say than humans. And then
Uh-huh.
and then I do have some that could see the dead. And I thought it would be kind of fun if I just had a little ghost come back and kind of help, maybe help with the solve the crime or something to that effect. And that's been fun too.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. And I have to say, you've got a great sense of humor. I haven't
Oh,
read your
thank you.
romance yet, but somehow, when you've got a cozy mystery going on, you have a bit of humor. You can play with some of those elements. Um, it's refreshing because a lot of people think, well, that doesn't go with murder
Right,
very
right.
well. But I think you would disagree with that.
I think I needed a little levity with all of the darkness in these books. Actually, I have a few psychological thrillers that I write to that I have written, and I would love to write more of them, but they're so dark. And I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
want some humor, and it wouldn't really be right to start turning these into that. So I kind of the cozies are just a good palate cleanse, and they're more of the mood that I want to be in when I write. So I think that's why I lean toward the humor. I love my characters, especially when they make me laugh. So that's a bonus.
Exactly. No, I'll start reading some thrillers or some more psychological, and they go dark pretty fast.
Yes.
Um, I think that's why I love our genre the way I do. It's
Same.
just very much you need that little bit of a break, and it lets us address things in a lighthearted way that
Yes.
other books just cannot.
Exactly. I agree wholeheartedly.
um, let's see. I'm going to skip this question and go to the next one. We're going to talk about kids, though. Don't think we're getting out of that one. Um, I saw some words that really made me laugh. Hot flash homicides
Yes.
and and cruising through midlife. Like you have a
Yes.
whole series on these, and I'm going, that's me. Let's go. Sign me up.
Well, that's me too. So I
I
thought, well,
love that.
my characters are usually skew younger in their late 20s. And I thought, I want to write about someone in their 50s, someone like me, someone who I could relate to. And in both those series, Hot Flash Homicides and Cruising Through Midlife, I thought, let's have fun. Let's just get real and let's enjoy this side of life too. So it's been a lot of fun. Hot Flash Homicides, she has a hot flash and it sets off this weird ability that she suddenly developed to time travel. So
Oh no.
yeah, spontaneous time travel when she has a hot flash. So it's not ever, it's always at an inopportune moment. And then in cruising through midlife,
That's great.
she leaves her husband, who she found out has been cheating on her, and she takes a cruise that they were slated to take for their anniversary, and then
Nice.
decides, with some convincing from some of the ladies that live on the ship, that she should also live on the ship. So she ends up living on the ship, and
Oh,
she teaches art classes there. So it's a lot of fun.
fun. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Well, I understand the spontaneous combustion part.
Yes.
The time
Yes.
travel, that worries me a little.
It could be worse.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Um, cats or dogs? Now, you've also got Meow for Murder mysteries, and we've got cats there. You've got the Brambleberry Bay Murder Club, and I see dogs with
Yes.
that one. And then I see both with the Country Cottage mysteries. You're going to tell me, is it cats or dogs? Who's your favorite?
Okay, I am both. I've always been both. In fact, this is the
Okay.
first time in my life where I haven't had dogs. We lost them both during COVID.
Oh,
It was really sad. We ended up with these guys and some kind of in between right now, but I'm equal. I'm equal opportunity lover when it comes to my fur
we're
friends.
not playing okay.
I love
No
my dogs.
favorites.
I had a
We
Pekingese,
won't
a
play
Husky,
favorites.
and a Golden Retriever just recently, and they're the ones that passed. But I just can't wait to see what comes next. So I'll let you know.
Okay, and I see someone walking all over your interview back there.
Yes,
Who is that?
it's Chip. I
That's
don't know.
Chip.
Yeah, this is Chip. And I don't know if Fish
Okay.
is in here too. I Fish and Chip, my two cats. So,
That's perfect.
and they actually narrate my newsletters for me too. So, and they're a big
Oh, perfect. Fish and Chip.
he'll
Okay.
start knocking things over soon, making himself at home. So,
Look at that. Proposing now. Wow, what a ham.
yes. Yeah.
Such a ham. Okay, well, as long as we're going to talk favorites and whatnot, let's talk about kids for just a minute. You've got four, I've got five. Um, you touched just a little on how you can have kids and books at the same time in your world. So talk to that a little.
Well, now, like I said, they're all old. They're all older than me now. I like to tease, but when they were little, I did do a lot of juggling, and it was a lot of writing at night, and it was kind of like, just something for me, and it was a fun
Mm-hmm.
escape. And so now it's more like I treat it like a 9 to 5. I don't, and so I still get a lot of pleasure out of it. But if there's anything that the kids need, I'm right there. I can always drop it, whatever I'm doing, and go help them. So probably same with you.
It is flexible.
Yeah.
You write when you find your little spaces of time to just get it in there. Um, but it sort of saves your sanity a little too. It's
Absolutely.
nice. Let's just go somewhere else with our mind for 5 minutes.
Yes, 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 yes. I think as moms, we need that, whether it be reading or
Yeah,
writing.
absolutely. Well, absolutely. And that. Okay. And well, I want to talk about food
Yep.
briefly. The book, Mortimer Manor, it ends with a recipe for Italian gravy, aka Nana Rose's marinara sauce.
Yes. Yes.
I see recipes all through your stuff, and I see you have a cookbook.
Yeah.
Um, talk about that for a minute.
Well, I think most cozy mysteries have recipes in the back. And so it's kind of, oh, there goes. Oh,
Oh,
it's
Chip.
not an angel coming to rescue me. This is Chip.
Is the paranormal coming through?
Yeah. We'll just ignore it. Um, I do have recipes in all of my books, and one of my series, Murder in the Mix series, she's a baker, and of course
Oh,
she has
there we
a
go.
million recipes. I think that series is going on book number 50, so there's a lot of them. So
Oh, wow.
I compiled all of my cozy mystery recipes and I put them in a cookbook. So, and I did it
Excellent.
after the character Lottie Lemon, who was in the Murder in the Mix. This is Lottie, and this is Chip, who's climbing curtains.
Because we can. Because we can. It's perfect. You can take a minute and scoop him up if you need to scoop him.
Here. Okay. He won't let me. He's not going to let me.
Okay, well, then we're on our own.
Around.
Every man for himself.
That's right.
Oh dear. Okay, a couple of quick questions. What book are you in the middle of reading right now?
I just read two books actually, and they were those empty eyes, and it was some psychological thriller that was like
Mm.
charting on Amazon, and catch me if you can, or Catch Me by Lisa Gardner.
Ooh, I love it. Do you have a Goodreads list going? Could we
I
find you
don't.
on Goodreads and see?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I am on Goodreads, but my
Right.
books are. But I'm not making any charts or lists, and I should do that.
I did the challenge last year just to see what would happen because I wasn't paying
Oh,
attention to how much I was reading.
how'd it
And
go?
you can just I read almost yeah, I passed 70 before the end of the year,
Did
which
you?
is more than I expected. So, but that's how I keep track of what I've read lately.
Oh,
I
that's
can just go back
awesome.
there and say, what was that one great book? And I can just skim and
Yes,
find it
yes,
there.
yes, yes. That's
Um,
something I should definitely do. Ah,
Otherwise, I can't remember. I read a lot of books, obviously. So I'm just curious if we can just go back and pick your brain and see what you've been up to in there.
well, I do like to read cozy mysteries too, but I guess after the new year, I was in a darker mood, and I just went with some psych thrillers. They were a lot of fun though. I do like
Yeah,
psych
mix it up.
thrillers, especially if it
Yeah.
has a twist in the end. So
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The ones that keep you up even after you're done with the book.
yes, I love that. I love that.
Looking into dark corners.
Yes.
Do you have do you have a favorite author? Somebody that you like binge read?
I have a favorite author. There's no binge reading because I don't think she has that many books out, but it was Sylvia Plath, and the Bell
Mm,
Jar. I loved Sylvia Plath's Bell Jar, and that really inspired me. Um, she's
nice.
she's my favorite, and as far as other authors go, I love, just like I said, if something grabs my attention, then I'm in. I'm hooked, and I pretty much binge whatever they have if I'm hooked.
Yeah, yeah. My reading tends to be all over. I stay in the mystery genre a little bit, but I can go out right
Oh,
out the door if someone recommends a good book to me. I'll just go find it.
agree,
So
agree.
good times. And let's see. I just wanted to ask about book reviews.
Oh,
That's a fun question for authors.
yeah,
We're told not to ever read our
yes,
reviews. It's a little
yeah.
compulsive. What are your thoughts on those?
Well, in the beginning, I would read them. And
Yeah.
I would especially glom onto the bad reviews, and then I would cry all day, and I would just throw my hands up and say, "I'm never doing this again." And I think it shaved 10 years off the back end of 10 years off the back end of my life. And I said, "You know what?
Oh,
It probably isn't healthy." So I stopped doing it. And I do read the good reviews. And then I'll have my husband kind of like, if I peruse, and if there's anything constructive in a bad review, he could tell me. And if not, I'm not going to read them.
that's a really great way to do that. Let someone else just sort of be that buffer.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um, and then if they're constructive, you want to hear back. You want the feedback from your readers. But
Yes. I love it
uh,
too. I do love it.
yeah,
Yes.
a good review can just make your whole week,
Yes.
month, year.
Like a roller coaster though, right? So yeah.
It is. It can be a little crazy. Um, do you have plans to keep writing? I mean, next year, 5 years, 10 years?
I
What
think
have you
I,
got in the works?
I don't have like a long, I just want to do this forever. I used to tell my husband that I'm just going to write forever until I'm not able to write anymore. I'm just going to do it. I feel like I want to, I need to. It's so fun. I don't see why I should stop. Um, I don't have any like hard plans, but I'm writing a lot of cozy mysteries this year and in the foreseeable
Fantastic.
future. So I'm going to keep going. How about you?
Yes, yes, absolutely. It's addicting. No,
Yes.
telling our stories and turning them into books is just so fulfilling. It's very exciting.
Agree, agree, agree.
Yeah. So we're just going to keep going. Excellent. Okay, so let's talk about your book, Murder at Mortimer Manor. I read mine on the Kindle, done and
Yay.
dusted. I loved it.
Oh, yay.
Let me read everybody the blurb from the back of the book here. Here we go. A highly inaccurate vision, a grumpy writer, and a corpse. Welcome to Starry Falls. Running from the mob can be murder. Confession. I'm no psychic, but I can sort of see the future, albeit not accurately. And you better believe I've never let that little detail stop me from prognosticating my way into a pickle. So when I ticked off the mob, the feds, and my wily ex, I decided to take my Uncle Vinny's advice and start over with a new name and new hair color while relying on my old shtick, getting my visionary wires crossed and putting myself in danger. Living in Starry Falls can be deadly. So my cozies are a little gritty since they are in the Wild West, and the
Yes.
historical subgenre might make a reader think twice. So I was wondering up front if this cozy might be a little dark with the word paranormal attached to it. But I'll tell you this, by the end of chapter 3, we're in the middle of a concert. There's underwear on the stage. There's a dead body outside. The gun is in our main character's hand, and the resident hot hunk is
Yes.
naturally the first on the scene. So
Gotta have
that's how you know it's going to be a fun ride. Like, oh,
it.
this is not great.
Aw.
And I'll tell everybody what I told you when I finished. I rate my books by how often they make me LOL, to
Oh,
the point that my husband from the other room shouts, "What's so funny?" Um,
oh,
that's how
that's
we know it's going to be fun. So,
that's great.
without giving away any spoilers, basically the book involves Stella trying to clear her name.
Yes.
So, we're going to start with Stella. Your main character, Stella Santini, is
Yes.
Italian and she has a mob family background. She has visions. She has an Uncle Vinny. Her boyfriend is Johnny Rizzo. Her dad is called the Sunday Sinner.
Yes.
Her mom divorced, is now a cougar. There's lots of Italian backstory to Stella.
Yes.
But basically, she opens with she's on the run from mob. she's leaving Hastings, New Jersey,
Yes.
and heading north. So tell us why she's running and tell us how you landed on her alias because her new name is hilarious.
She is running to the mob. She is afraid she's going to go to prison for many years for money laundering, I think it was. And her Uncle Vinny sets her up with a car, really beat up Honda, who she nicknames Wanda.
Yes.
And Wanda, it was supposed to get her all the way to Canada, but she got as far as Vermont, I think, and ended up in Starry Falls, and that's how she ends up there. And I think, she ends up stumbling into a crooked mansion on the hill, which is the Mortimer Manor, owned by eccentric Opal Mortimer, who has all this money and hundreds of cats and a quaint little diner. Uh, Inside the entry there, and that's where Stella gets a job, and she realizes she can't use her real name, so she comes up
Mhm.
with a name on the fly, and she remembers her uncle listening to David Bowie a lot, and that's how I think she comes up with Bowie. And then her last name Binks, what had something to do with a stuffed animal from her niece, and then pretty much she's stuck with that name now. And
Bowie
so
Binks.
yes, yes,
Exactly. Well, you've also got an Opal Mortimer who owns the manor.
yes, yes,
You've got a Mud Miller who's a handyman, and you've
yes.
got a Tilly Teasdale who's the waitress. You've
Yes.
got some great characters going on in this book. Question for you: are you pulling real people, or are you fully fictitious with these characters?
People ask that all the time, like, "Am I real life? Oh, who am I in your books?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not using anybody, I promise, because I would hate to the things I do to these characters, I wouldn't feel right." So yeah, it's maybe they're heavily some people are heavily inspired from maybe people I see on TV or people in my real life, but they come into their own. Characters seem to do that. They just come into their own.
Yeah. So we're not going to be able to meet Tilly in real
No,
life. Okay.
no.
And 300, I believe. There are 300 cats at Mortimer Manor.
Yes. Yes. We used to have a lady at a park nearby who I noticed we would go there. I would go there with the kids every night in the evening, and every evening at the same time, she would come and a woman would come into the parking lot and open up her trunk and pull out this giant bin, and she'd hobble over behind the dumpsters and she'd dump all this cat food, and hundreds of cats were coming out from the woodwork. I thought, oh my word, I didn't even realize we had that many cats in our neighborhood. So it was
Oh
kind of
no.
situation. I thought, hey, maybe she feeds them at her own place. Maybe she's got a mansion. So that's kind of how we came up with Opal and her manor. Her cat laid it.
Okay. Shades of Opal.
Yes.
That I hope you filmed some of that. I
I
think
don't
that's something I would
think
like to
I did,
see.
but boy, it was a sight. And she was consistent. So I would take the kids and like, I think she's coming. Let's go see. And sure enough,
You
right.
start hearing the cats start to circle the neighborhood.
Yes.
It's feeding time. Oh no.
Ironically, outside of that, I never saw the cats. So they were really good at hiding.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty fun. They they have a cute little tea time called Stitch Witchery.
Yes.
Um, tell us a little bit of that because I thought that was a fun bit in the book.
I thought it'd be fun if Opal pulled out her fine china, invited all the gals from town to come in and have a spot of tea, maybe a spot of whiskey with that tea,
Right.
and just gather, and everyone would bring their craft projects.
Mhm.
And they would do diamond painting and needlepoint. I think Stella was doing needlepoint and knitting and crocheting, just a time to gather. And it was a time for a little bit of gossip too. So it was a lot of fun.
There was a latch hook rug in there somewhere. I
Yes.
used to have one of those.
Same.
It's as crafty as I
That's
could
where I
get,
started. Yes.
right?
Yes.
But that I loved it because that gives us some girl time going on in the middle of the book. So that was fun. Tell us a little about the setting. Where does Starry Falls, Vermont come from?
Well, my one of my anchor series, Murder in the Mix, which is the one with the 50 books, which I'm heavily invested in, it takes place in Vermont. And I thought, well, I want characters who can come in and out of this series because I'm going to
Mm,
be in the Murder in the Mix series so much. I might want to bring others, and I do. I bring Stella in. I bring some of I think almost all of my characters from my other cozy mystery series have made an appearance in there. I
mm.
tend to set all of my cozies on the East Coast. So
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that leads right into my other question was sometimes when you have these parallel series, characters can cross back
Mhm.
and forth between them. I'm assuming that has to do with geography as much as anything else. If your characters
Yes.
are already in Vermont,
Yes.
then they can go from town to town or what have you. Um, if we wanted to meet as many of your characters at once, which series should we be in? Like,
That's a good
which one's
question.
going to hold the most of these characters, this cast of characters?
Probably Murder in the Mix because
Murder in the Mix.
everyone comes to Honey Hollow eventually. So it's
Oh,
all,
there we go. There
yes.
we go. Okay. So Honey Hollow is maybe where I should head next.
Yes. Yeah. I'd love
Well, this particular one is a 7 book series. Have I got that right? 7 books.
7 books. There is potential for another book in the series. I just don't have it slated on my schedule yet, but I would love to go back to
Okay.
Story Falls. I'm always open to that.
Okay. At Mortimer Manor or just in Starry Falls in general?
Mortimer Manor for sure. Yeah.
Mortimer Manor. Okay.
With Stella. Yeah.
We're staying there. So there might be one more coming, maybe more. Should we read these in order?
Yes. Actually,
Okay.
all of my cozy mysteries are a mystery that is complete within the novel. So you could read it. You could start on book, you could read book 37 of the Murder in the Mix series and you'd still have orientation. But if you wanted to have like subplot context, start at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, you could read
Okay.
any for murder series out of order as well. But if you wanted, I think it's best to start at the beginning. But
I'm
either
very OCD. I love starting. I need to be at the beginning. Tell me everything I need to know,
yes, yes,
and then we can move forward. Exactly.
okay.
Okay. So what is coming next for you this year?
Next is I have a new release next week, and I believe it's on the 18th, and it is another cruising through midlife book, Panama Canal Killer Cruise. It's a lot of fun. I think it's actually a Halloween book, which is Halloween on the cruise ship will be interesting, and a lot of
Mm.
fun things happen. It's actually one of my favorite books in the series. So if you've read any part of that series, this is going to be a fun one.
Do we have a date for when that might release?
I think it's the 18th.
Of this month?
Yes, January.
January 18th.
Yes,
Oh, it's coming right now.
yeah,
Excellent.
I think so. Like coming right up. Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll watch for that. Um, where can we find you, your books, and follow you and know when your release is ready?
All the usual places. So you can follow me on Amazon, BookBub. You can find me on Facebook, and I have a reader corner there too for a private group for readers, and
Right.
on my website, addisonmoore.com. So, and if you go to my website, be sure to sign up for my newsletters because it's all run through my cats. So my cats do handle all of that. They do the speaking, they tell you what deals are there. So if you want more fish and chip, definitely sign up for the newsletter.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. We will. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you so much, Addison. Everyone, be sure to tune in next month for our next Cozy Mystery Book Club author interview. I think it's Carly Winter coming up next. And thank you, Addison, for joining us.
Thank
And
you, Julie. Thank you so much. Super
we'll,
to be here.
yeah, thank you. We'll see you
Okay.
guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.